What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 38 of my Total Warhammer 3 Ikit Claw Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we once again reminded ourselves of the firepower that Charge Lock and Ikit can bring to bear, destroying a few armies and clearing the way, or paving the way, to continue their assault on whatever they can reach. It looks like Ikit is going to be attacking Griffin Wood this time around, as Nikolaus von Karstein is waiting there with a full stack that we probably want to destroy. Although we could also go back to Needling and ignore this, but then we'd have to give up more time. Not that, of course, we're looking to keep it right now, but, well, it's a possibility. I'll think about that. In the meantime, and perhaps more importantly, we have the ability to attack the Great Desert of Araby, take it, and destroy Volkmar's force, though not his faction by the looks of it, though more importantly to get Scheif as the buffs that we get for infantry for defeating Volki. Now we're going to do that in a few seconds, but there's a few things that we want to do first, just to spread out the battles in the admin a little bit as usual. First of all, Bitterstone Mine is ready for attack, so we're going to start off by, let's say, having Morphific go up to Bitterstone, like so. And he's gonna encircle it. We're gonna auto-resolve this because there's nothing here, and it looks like Wurzag is either dead or has run away. Oh, he probably fought Skarbrand. Ooh. We probably want to take Dragonhorn Mines before Skarbrand does, huh? Alright. Here's what we'll do. We'll send Glondaug here to attack Azrol Necksnapper. Azrole. Okay. And you're gonna auto-resolve this. Some free food, if nothing else, and a free Pigeon Plucker pendant. Enemy killed in battle, yada yada yada. Then we'll have Bitterstone Mine auto-resolved as well. And then sacked. Oh, not that much money for second, but we should probably sack it nonetheless. Alright, ooh, and a free Talisman of Endurance. Very nice. Glondag, we're gonna have you capture it, rather than Morphific, because we want him to continue moving. Loot and Occupied to take it at tier 1. Bloody Hands are done for, but only for now, as they will, I'm sure, come back. I don't remember where the Bloody Hands start. Is it around Ekrund, or is it around Galbaraz? We'll have to be prepared for when the orcs and the dwarfs come back. Now, Sionlet, I want you to jump down here, and I want you to grab Dragonhorn Mines next turn. And Morphific, can you actually reach Sionlet? Huh. Nah, it looks like you just can't. Alright, start moving down there. We gotta meet you up with Cyprus anyway. So close, these two. I just wanted to transfer the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers to Morphific before we delete Sionlet. Though we can delete all of this so that it doesn't cost us extra money over the end turn, as they will not be needed. Really hoping that Skarbrand can't get Dragonhorn Mines. I want to randomly, or suddenly I should say, declare war on him, though we probably will eventually, but we're a little bit busy right now. Though we do have 2 armies here, or maybe 1.5 armies here, if we wanted to deal with it shortly. Certainly something to consider. Anyway, let's keep moving. I did want to get, where's Metable? Metable. You're going to go into Underway stance, you're going to move closer to Talabayim. Maybe these guys will attack us, maybe they won't, but if they have such weak forces here, we might be able to benefit and actually take out Talabayim. They do still have the Castle von Rauken settlement, which means they will probably move just like the Great Orthodoxy did into attacking us, but not a big deal. Also, can we trade Volksgrad to anybody? I don't actually care about it, and it's unlikely that we're going to be able to keep it. Although, yeah, these guys would probably really want it, but they're not gonna. We can't confederate with them. And I wonder how much other factions would hate us giving them stuff. And I really don't see the benefit of military or defensive alliance with Clan Ferric, to be perfectly honest. We'll probably just try to confed them for their free territory later. You know what, let's just leave it alone for now. I think what we're gonna do is delete this and this, and we're gonna try to replace them with walls and stuff. If it survives, great. If it doesn't, well, it's free money. And we could also probably trade the Lair of the Troll King to Throg for the... well, at least something. But we can't do it right now, because Throt is still busy. Now, speaking of Throt, he can recruit... a little bit more if he wants to, although Packmasters, I suppose, are still the way to go. You're cunning, which means you're useless to Throt, because, once again, poison overlaps. With the Brood Horrors, you still have those 2 Packmasters and Gorge. Oh! We simply summon you the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep and all these units, so I guess this is all getting replaced anyway. So 1, 2, and, well, 3 later on, but these 2 will enter the army shortly, which means we don't need the Skaven Slave Spears. Or do we not need the Gutter Runners? You know what, we'll keep the Skaven Slaves because we can just send them in before everybody else is a sacrificial unit. Like so. Alrighty, and then these 2 will join, and then it looks like next turn, Throt will be able to move out, which means we go for Fort Strogoff and then immediately hit Hell Pit. Mostly because I think we can't reach the Hell Pit here. Or wait. From what I recall my Vlad campaign, you can't actually go directly from Strogoff to Hell Pit. Although the problem is there is a full stack here, which means we may want to destroy it if we're to trade away the layer of the Troll King. Though I suppose if we jump and trade, we don't really care. Nah, but you know what? We'll keep it just in case we need a base to fall back to. I'd rather not risk that. Anyway, I think that's enough for now, at least a little bit. Let's get Scheif attacking Volkmar, shall we? Time to destroy these guys. We can also level you guys up, but I'm not sure that it's needed for this particular battle. Close victory. I guess Volkmar himself is still scary, and I do imagine he now has his Grand Soulfire ability. And as we've seen before, the Jezzails just can't knock him down because he has way too much missile resistance and the ward save together. And I think he has more when he activates his abilities, like a lot more. You know what? Let's just level the Lord, I want to say. Is there something we want to get here? We could get Arcane Conduit if we are to get another... No, actually we can't. We're just short. You know what? Get Dreaded 13th and then get Plague. Do you actually need Plague? Considering that you have other Plague Priests in this army? Probably not. We could also ignore this and just get Respected and Feared. You know what? Let's get Respected and Feared then. Just for the Plague Monks. We're gonna have to go through this tree eventually anyway, so I don't see any reason not to do so right now. And then you guys have maxed out Vermintide and Pestilent Birth, but let's get your Arcane Conduit. And... we're not going to be using Plague right now because we have a limited amount of magic, so we might as well start building it out. And then Arcane Conduit for you and Plague for you, and then I guess we'll also do Scouting on both of them. You have Scavenge maxed out, and I guess we're just going to continue building out that Shock Collar for you, so hard to hit, and this is all kind of useless in this army. You're on your Brood Core. Do you need the... oh, you really do need the armor. Tenacity is probably pretty good for you as well, because you get healing or you get regeneration via the Brood Core, and we could give you more points to get you even more HP. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for Tenacity. Alright now. Alrighty, that looks good. Let's attack. We're gonna do this cinematically, of course. This is not going to be the last time we fight Volkmar, but every time is probably significant, because he's a scary, scary lord. Alrighty, Volkmar once again. Let's see what it takes to bring him down this time. And all the while, everybody's firing. Scheif is just having the time of his life on this bell. Probably the most fun mount, just by virtue of how fun it looks like the Lord has just rocking back and forth on that thing. Alrighty, well anyway, here we go. We are actually not going to start focusing Volkmar with the Jezzails, as shocking as that may seem, mostly because it's kind of a waste of our time, at least to start off with. So our first Jezzail unit is going to be focusing these great swords down and sniping as many of them as they can, whereas the second Jezzail unit is going to go after these Empire Knights back here. Not that the Empire Knights are all that threatening, mind you, but once again, they are a cav unit, and we do want to prevent them from charging anything. Obviously, our Plague Claw catapults are going to separate into firing on as many different units as possible and trying to whittle them down before they reach us. Volkmar is going to be drawing nearer to us, though it looks like he's going to back off at least a little bit. What if we could shield his troops against the Plague Claw shots? Not like they're a threat to him. But what we're going to do is start summoning some, not some menace below, but rather vermintides. We're going to send them directly at Volkmar in the hopes of slowing him down and preventing him from coming here. Obviously, we don't care about the vermintide taking damage to our own artillery, so they're free to do what they please there. Wolf rats coming down, they're those clan rats, and let's see if they can actually stop Volky. Alrighty, it looks like he has indeed stopped. Let's see if we can do any damage to him with the Poison Wind Globadiers. Unfortunately, even though the Globadiers are technically anti-large, they don't really seem to do any kind of damage to Volkmar, at least not in such a way that it seems worth it. The Jezzails do seem just straight up better at doing so, though obviously the Jezzails applying Shield Breaker would be helpful in combining and doing more damage with the Globadiers. The problem with the Globadiers is that, like, I don't know, half their shots go wide and kill all the summoned units that we put under there. Granted, we don't really care about the summoned units, but nonetheless. Anyway, the Jezzails were busily firing at this witch hunter here, who appears to have lost his arm, his gun, and his life in quick succession, and are now able to start firing on Volkmar. Whether that's effective or not, I guess, remains to be seen. There we go. And he's taken, I don't know, maybe 10% HP, hopefully 15% soon, but it ain't doing all that much as yet. On the bright side, though, at this point in time, we have not taken any damage to any of our troops. Now it looks like Volkmar's trying to get out of the press here. We're going to send in our own lord, and we are going to hope that instead of him dying, he'll just be able to block Volkmar. It looks like all of the summoned units are getting the heck out of there, so we're going to have to summon more. Dreaded 13th would be real nice here, if we can manage to get enough mana to actually get it going. And all the while that's happening, we can watch some of the enemy troops die. The second enemy army has arrived as well, the little reinforcing force, which we have switched all of our artillery pieces to. So hopefully most of them will have been very badly beat up by the time we actually have to deal with them. Alrighty, and honestly right now it's basically just Volkmar. All the other stuff is inconsequential, and we're not taking any damage anywhere else. Volkmar is now at about 60% HP. We've also moved some Poison Wind Globadiers up to start focusing down those enemy handgunners, as we don't want them focusing our own Grey Seer down, or possibly our Packmaster. For whatever reason, it seems like the AI really dislikes the Packmasters, or at least the ones on the mount. They all seem to want to focus them down with their range. Granted, the regeneration does make it fairly easy to survive, but the issue there is that these guys have very little armor at only 40. You need to remember to try to buff their armor a little bit so that if they do get focused down by stuff in the future, it isn't so bad. Anyway, it looks like Volkmar has broken out of the press just as we've summoned the dreaded 13th, so the, not the Council Guard, but rather the regular Storm Vermin with halberds are going to surround him and hopefully prevent him from moving any further. He has charged our Warplock Jezzails, but he is now at half HP, though our own Lord is at half HP as well. The rest of the enemy army is just about done, however, and I don't think that they are going to stick around for more than a few more seconds. Way too many enemy units are routing. I see some units shattering as well. Volkmar's down to 25% HP. Who will break first, the army, or will Volkmar die? It looks like the army. Everybody's wavering now, and they just will not be able to approach us. In terms of damage, it looks like we've taken a tiny bit on the Warplock Jezzails, on both of the Warplock Jezzails, I think, but they've barely lost any units. And just HP damage, which is really quite nice. Alrighty, now it's just a time to wait until Volkmar gets brought down again. And how long? Let's see, we got 4 minutes, so I bet about 3 of those minutes were Volkmar getting shot by Jezzails, or 2 units of Jezzails, pretty much non-stop. Ah, that War Altar, though. If only we could steal the War Altar and, I don't know, Skavenify it somehow. Knock down the Griffin and replace it with a Horned Rat. I feel like this thing's ripe for Skavenification. But anyway, the battle is done. We are going to give a little bit of chase. I do believe there was a small stack sitting outside the settlement, so it's best that we destroy the enemy as much as possible. Granted, the garrison and Volkmar's own forces don't need to be killed, but that reinforcing army does, though I don't recall whether that had sufficient units to make it worthwhile. I mean, an extra couple seconds isn't going to change anything. Plus, we do have the wolf rats in this particular army, so they do make chasing stuff fairly decent, and the plague claws are quite a bit better at knocking massive amounts of infantry out than things like the warp lightning cannons. So anyway, decisive victory. Volkmar dies for a second time to our armies, and now both armies have his defeat trait. Well, there we go. The damage dealt to us was obviously extremely minimal, but damn if it doesn't take so much resources to bring Volkmar down, or I mean battle resources. So much commitment to it. Now we... Wait, you can take the Great Desert of Erebit Tier 3, but I don't remember whether you can build the thing at Tier 1 or Tier 3. Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Ooh. But if we build it at Tier 1... and you need Tier 3. No, but it only has one building in it. Yeah, you know what? So just loot and occupy it. Just because it's not worth a lot of money. Defeat Volkmar the Grim. There we go. That's what we wanted, which we now have. Plague Furnace is available. Very, very nice. That was appropriate. And yes, indeed, we get this immediately. Oh, there's a... Oh, damn, there is a difference at Tier 3. Okay, well, that's annoying, but the growth is actually not so bad. It'll fix itself, and this actually gives us additional growth. Alright, that's fine. This actually gives us a little bit of money and some trade tariffs. Okay, not horrible. Go to expansionist planning for now. Scheif, you're good here, and I guess you're heading out to Sudenburg, because Corpable is going to go after Nebeset, and then I guess move back down to these guys as well. We'll be working on them together for a little while. Auto-resolve this, please. And no damage, obviously. I keep forgetting we need to remove that dwarf hide banner, as it's relatively useless for now. I think we're going to take the food. It's basically no money, two tiny amounts of healing, and yeah, just take the food. Alrighty, and are we... Oh, we are so close to 81%. Another obsidian amulet. Maybe we can turn it into something that isn't garbage. You are going to march stance out to Sudenburg. Let's hope that there isn't a full stack nearby. But a basic full stack I'm sure you can handle. And alrighty, very, very nice. Now that we have Arcan gone and we have the Bloody Hands gone, we are doing a lot better in these territories. It looks like we won't need too many more armies down there, at least not right now. Alrighty, now, what else can we do? Thought's going to be recruiting for another turn. Ronan and Scalpite are still going to be waiting for their new army. I believe we already checked the heroes, or at least we checked some of the heroes. We can build a tough Plague Priest, but nah. Maybe. I'll think about it. It'll get replaced. And what about the Chieftains? We got Strong, which is pretty decent for Chieftains. Poison also okay. No, wait, but we could... Wait. Chieftains can only be on Bone Breakers, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Warlords can be on Brood Horrors. Who has Chieftains? Yeah, Mickey and Minnie are Chieftains, and they didn't get the option of Brood Horrors. Yeah, so alrighty. They don't naturally get the Poison, which means Ambush is not so bad, and Poison is not so bad if we were to go for it. You guys are also going to steal tech, but for now we'll just ignore you. Maybe worth a summoning a few more of those, but we'll wait for it. Slicin', you are who again? You're you're one of these. You're a cunning chieftain. Well, I was just talking about you guys. Yeah, so if we want to put a couple chieftains in an army, we could do a couple cunning ones. Though strong is a fairly considerable buff, especially on the Bone Breakers. Individual versus army, I guess. Not that poison is bad, but we can still give them poison via a... an ancillary, which makes me kind of doubt the need to do that, so meh. Anyway, Bell Farmer, you are now going into the sea lane. Beautiful. We finally reached it, which means soon we will discover Clan Eshin, and I guess we'll see how much they like us. We also have our Confederation debuff ending in 2 turns, so hopefully we don't meet them at the exact same time, so that we immediately start with a relatively negative relationship. Also, are you under... Oh. No! Looks like Oixel is under siege. Okay, if Throt die, or not Throt, if Lord Skrolk dies, we are definitely getting recruit defeated legendary lords, because we don't even have the option to confederate him like this, and you can't have that. I want the entire family. Anyway, let's see what else we gotta do. Let's do some buildings and move Ratmech actually doesn't need to move. Yeah, let's do some buildings then, and then we'll do one more battle with Ikit in a few seconds. Alright, so let's start with the Blood River Valley. Doc Caraz, go for you. And there's probably at least a few territories here that we can start getting income from, like the Misty Hills, for example. So let's do that. Let's get you the Warren. Let's get you more growth. Though Wrecker's Point is in a bad place, so we do need to get it up and running with the wall as fast as possible. Talzin, get that Chieftain upgrade. Cracked Land... Wait. Okay, no, yeah, that's fine. Cracked Land, Zandri, El Kelabad, or Pools of Despair. Zandri's the most likely to get attacked, so Zandri is what we're going to go with. Icetooth Mountains. I don't really care about Pack Ice Bay because we're going to trade it away. It does have a port, though. Even reduced, it might still be worth our time just to get these. You know what? Maybe we'll actually keep this. You know what? Upgrade it for now. I was not going to keep these territories, but maybe just Pack Ice Bay, Altar the Crimson Harvest, and Longship Graveyard, just because they're all ports. We could ignore Bay of Blades, because we don't get anything out of Sarl Encampment or anything like that, so yeah, just these 3. I think that province by itself will generate enough money. Now, Sturland, you're up next. Funsburg or Needling? Needling's probably going to fall, so let's go with Flensburg. A Land of Assassins, the Sheik, let's get that growth everywhere. Carcassonne. Walls are not super needed right now, but we might as well upgrade them. Soon we're going to need to remove that expansion as planning anyway. Black Mountains. Get that scrap heap. We're probably going to replace this with a military building at some point, but that point is not right now. Get that Grand Warren for Solland. Get that Grand Warren for Baston. And we'll have to start being careful with our money a little bit. In a few. Ooh, Ekron's ready to go to tier 5, but I'm not sure that we can afford it. Oh, actually, maybe we can. Let's take a look at everything else, and then we'll do it if we need to. Altdorf can upgrade. But we still have enough cash remaining. And keep making money here, because this is going to be a really nice money-making province. Wasteland, you're definitely a priority. Definitely Warpstone Reactor, definitely Warp Turbine Plant, and definitely Nest Nursery. And... unless I'm mistaken, we're soon going to be able to switch out of expansionist planning for you. Which means exploitative planning. Just gotta remember to do so. I'll have to recheck a lot of the settlements at some point. Because I feel like a few might need to be switched out. Anyway, back to this Bordelot. Bordelot at tier 5 may be more worth our time because it gets the Manans dry docks. Yeah. We'll have to wait on Ekron then. This is a much better upgrade. And then Bitterstone Mine, I guess we'll wait for you. We can upgrade Ekron next turn then. And Western Border Princes, I guess we will get the Warp Turbine Plant, which finishes the place up. Nope, we still have to get the Plague Abbey. Oh, and we can't afford the Plague Abbey? Huh. Oh, we would be able to maybe if Ikit gets enough money via fighting. You know what, Ikit? Since you're the only one that can move, and the only thing that we still have to do this turn... I guess we're gonna have you attack Griffin Wood. Not a crazy amount of sack value in there, but in combination with the battle, it may be. To Griffin Wood we go. Alrighty, now the question is, what do we have here? It's just a pile of zombies, eh? We probably don't need to fight this, or we certainly don't need to fight this cinematically, but... you know what, let's just fight this regular style. Alrighty, well, you know, I originally wasn't planning to bother making this a cinematic battle, mostly because the enemy has absolutely no chance. Yeah, it's a pretty big horde of zombies and skeletons and whatnot, but as we've already seen, good luck getting through Ikit's army. It's just too good at dealing with blobs of units like this, rather than lots of single entity units, though I'd be excited to see an army with lots of single entities just to see how we fare in comparison. But anyway, what I'm driving at is we're going to do the cinematic just because it's just so fun to watch zombies and stuff get ripped apart. Speaking of, we should be getting just about in range, and we do have another hill. It's not as good as the hill in the last episode, but it's still, I'm sure, decent enough to prevent the enemy from getting to us. We're going to essentially separate the army into two, both of the forces essentially around a single warlock engineer to be providing the buffs nearby. And I'm still unsure whether we want to get 4 warlock engineers or keep it to 2. And the warp fire throwers do a lot of good work. But we could buff everybody else up with two more warlock engineers. So it's hard to say. Anyway, obviously the artillery are going to start the battle off and start annoying the enemy. We've also got the Jezzails who are going to begin firing on the enemy lord, who is already starting to take a little bit of damage. Otherwise, it looks like the enemy army is going to be milling around up here for a little while taking bombardment, mostly because it's waiting for the reinforcing forces to come in and join them together into one massive blob. Will that help them out? I'm not sure, because they're going to have to take quite a lot of damage while waiting. And it looks like the enemy lord is now dropped by about 3/4 of his HP, or 2 3/4 HP, but he is healing back up with that invocation of Nehek. So we'll see. It'll take a while to break through all of that HP and healing with our Jezzails, but I sincerely doubt he's actually going to be able to get to our army. In the meantime, the bombardment will continue until morale drops completely and the entire enemy army disintegrates. And there we go. It looks like the anthill or the zombie hill has finally been kicked and the enemy army starts shambling towards us. Enemy lord's now below half HP and has also found his healing cap, which means he should be done for fairly shortly. Now let's change the view and watch the enemy advance from here, though it's, I guess, a little bit harder to see. But I want a slightly different look this time around. Or a slightly different perspective, rather. That's the word I was looking for. Alrighty, well, the warp lightning cannons are firing. Looks like they're knocking bats out of the sky with every single shot, and as we can see, the avalanche mortars are obliterating anything that they come in contact with, but we're used to that because this unit is absolutely obnoxious. Looks like some of the enemy units are getting closer to our main line, approaching at least our warp fire throwers, but it is a unit of direwolves, so A, they will not actually get close enough, and B, they're the only unit that is this far up ahead. Alrighty, balance of power definitely in our favor. The enemy lord already drops from the sky, and damn, I looked away for 1 second, and just like that, he's gone. Enemy tries to get some cavalry in, but of course the rattling guns put paid to that idea, and the Black Knights are out of there. Looks like some bats are getting closer to Ikit, at least. Oh, they're actually chasing Ikit around? Okay, well, I think by virtue of the fact that they were chasing Ikit, it made them dodge a lot more of our shots, which made them survive a little bit longer. It's like doing the zigzag dance when the AI tries to focus you. Or I guess the AI doing the same thing. Yeah, so as we can see, when the bats don't zigzag, a single volley from the warp fire throwers kills them before even the avalanche mortars land any of their shots. Over on this side, however, it looks like the enemy did manage to get a few bats through, and these ones were approaching from the flanks like this, where they were not being fired upon. So good job to the AI. Whether they actually do any damage or knock down any models remains to be seen. These rattling guns are still at full HP, and the bats are actually starting to take damage, and we're going to send Ikit to deal with those units as well. Victory is in our grasp, so the enemy will hopefully start melting soon. Or maybe not hopefully. Honestly, I'd enjoy watching them killed to a zombie. Try and make it up that hill. Beautiful. Honestly, it's such a good thing that that we're fighting Vlad, just because we get to watch these battles against the undead. They're just so fun to burninate. Alrighty, it looks like some more flanking forces have come this way. A single unit of Karen Race, who we have retargeted our warp fire throwers and a single unit of Jezzails at. Of course, the warp fire throwers have magical damage, so they should be very, very good at destroying Karen Race. Ah, magical fire. Amazing. Alrighty, and those guys are out of the picture. The enemy is still moving towards us, but still has not managed to make any headway up the hill, with the exception of those bats on our rightmost flank. And it looks like one portion of the battlefield is essentially clear. There's really not much left over on this side, and the forces that are over on this side are dwindling. The enemy also tried to get the necromancers, and I didn't even realize they had necromancers because they're so damn far away from the fight. I guess they never got a chance to cast anything. Looks like Ikit managed to bail out the rattling guns or Jezzails or whoever was out here, and has destroyed that unit of bats with the warp lightning. Unfortunate aspect of attacking a single unit with bats like that is they blob up really, really nicely, which means a single warp lightning can basically destroy the entire unit. Oh, and it looks like some skeletons have managed to pull it off and have actually closed the distance with one of our units of warp fire throwers. Of course, the rattling guns are going to bail them out, but still, good job. And there we go, down go the skellies, and what do we have left here? Not much in terms of the balance of power. The enemy's lost about 3.5k troops out of their 4.1k, and I think that the chain route should be here any second now. Warp fire throwers from both sides. Yeah, this was worth making a cinematic battle. Granted, once again, it's a very easy one, but it's just so fun. And I still do wish that trees could just be set on fire. Oh, is this a summoned unit of zombies? I can't even tell. No, they don't have the lightning. Too many effects going on at the same time. Man, imagine trying to move through a forest like this. Try to go between trees and then there's just a rattling gunshots and Jezzail shots everywhere and warp fire. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, but in the most glorious way possible. How many rats lost? 13. Oh, well. We might as well consider that a sacrifice to the horned rat. It's the ideal number of rats to lose. Fortunately, Ikit's not under threat by it, or else he'd be in a pretty bad situation as he's riding around out front a lot. Anyway, we get 4.3k out of that, a free dragon helmet, a bunch of food. We're gonna sack the place. And, you know, I think we don't actually want to capture it. I want you, Ikit. Huh. I was about to say double sack, go after Essen. Well, we could get Essen, but I'm tempted to go back into Needling, so that, or into Mordheim, so that we can then move to Needling when we need to. Seems like not the worst idea. You know what, go back into Mordheim, I like the idea. There you go. And that'll, well, I guess you didn't really need to heal, but if this guy attacks Needling, then you're able to move. If this guy builds a full stack and goes over here, you're able to deal with that as well. And I'm actually surprised that... Oh, Vlad was fighting Dryka, huh? I guess he took Griffinwood. I imagine the Dryka, I would originally thinking the Dryka had lost Griffinwood to something else, but apparently not. Alrighty, well, that's great for them. Also, Ikit, you got a decent amount of cash for us, so we're able to upgrade either this, both the Plague Abbey, which we have been waiting for, or we can upgrade Ekrund to tier 5 right now. Let's upgrade to Ekrund. Might as well. It's going to take a long time to build that up, whereas with the Plague Abbey and the other thing, we build it and then it's done, basically. In the sense that we don't have to watch that settlement anymore. Alrighty, well that looks like an end turn to me, unless there's something else I'm forgetting. Doesn't look like there's any buildings I forgot. We just spent a lot of cash. After all that, we didn't get any extra warp fuel. Man, seems like it's, has it become more difficult to get warp fuel later into the game? I do have to wonder. We still have a lot of stuff that we need to upgrade. Well, I guess we're not really using the warp grinders, but I would like to build an army that has a lot more mortars. And potentially one with a bunch of warp grinders just for the fun of it. We also don't have most of the upgrades for the nukes, but we haven't needed nukes. And then all of the upgrades for the Doomflayers as well. Which, considering we're currently about to get a somewhat Doomflayer army, should be done at some point. And I'm just checking to see whether we could get attacked anywhere. I suppose maybe here. You are in march stance. The enemy's not going to get a better chance. Maybe Karl Franz will attack Metable. Let's see. Actually, Metable's... Oh, damn you, camera. Metable's probably not in the best position, because if he does get attacked, it will be a pseudo-underway battle. Has Oixel fallen? No, it looks like it's still alive. Maybe they'll survive, who knows? I sometimes have a feeling that the AI is programmed not to kill other AI. At least not legendary lords. They just leave them alive to keep going. You want a defensive alliance, and I'm still quite tempted, but I'm not going to do this as yet. We're still gaining reputation, and there's no real benefit for this right now. Especially because they don't really offer anything for us. Alrighty, and the end turn happened. Looks like Franz ran... Oh, wait, this is interesting. Huh. So Vlad is here. Bokba could fight Vlad again while he's at half health, but that's a lot of Graveguard. And we still don't have those Giselles. Oh, Karazakarak is gone, but they'll be back. Undercity destroyed in Castle Alexandrinov, but that's because Castle Alexandrinov got destroyed. Annoying, but fine. Mutants ready to go, which is important, because as soon as Skaven Blight is ready to go, that's when we get Mutant up and running, because it's going to cost a pretty penny to upgrade the Council Chamber of the 13th and the Shattered Tower. Plus all of this stuff. But good that he is ready. And hey, we're in green now. We're at 82%, though that could drop very quickly, which means extra growth and control, the extra growth in particular, is going to be quite nice for us. Though we got to be careful not to drop back down. Anyway, charge lock. Let's move you, shall we, buddy? We are going to the Altar of the Crimson Harvest, so I guess we're... Oh, this is attrition-y? That's annoying. Hopefully you can jump from this, then. I like so. We can also send you up to Salzenmund, but maybe we'll just send you back down to Salzenmund later instead. Oh, here's Karl. Medable could maybe... No, he can't reach him. He could just reach Vlad and possibly Talabayim. In fact, oh, Talabayim is a free territory. I guess we can't sack it, but we could take it at tier 3 and essentially use it as a bulwark against anybody going south. We don't have time to fight the battle against Vlad right now, but it certainly seems like a good option. Let's see what else we do have time for, though. Scheif, you... I guess you're going to Sudenburg. What we could also do is try to go to the edge of this. What's down here? I don't know whether it's these guys or not. Maybe we're better off just going to March Stance, going all the way to the edge of this, and then just jumping to Sudenburg instead. Or just past Sudenburg. We can also send Corpable directly to Sudenburg, and I'm sure that he should be able to take it without too much trouble, as there's nothing in there right now. In fact, oh, yeah, that's really weak. Okay, let's just auto-resolve this. Barely any damage at that. We'll sack it for another 10k. Lovely. And you can take it at... I'm still gonna say tier 1. All of these places will grow relatively quickly, although... I mean, it does have a port. In fact, it has 2 ports. Yeah, the ports will make it grow quick. No need to upgrade it at a higher level. Wouldn't occupy. Lovely. And between the ports and the growth... Do we need to collect income right now? Let's not collect the income. Let's let it grow a little bit. Alrighty. That looks good to me. Let's see. Cyprus. I was gonna have you go down to Stormhenge, and I feel like maybe that's still the way to go. You won't heal here, but you will here. Though I do have to wonder whether you'll be able to reach it at 1 turn. I guess we're about to find out. Move out. Hopefully we don't run into a full stack belonging to Thorek down there. Also, in the meantime, Cyanlet, we have 2 things for you to do. First of all, give up your... Clan Vulcan guys to Morphific, then grab Dragonhorn Mines at level 1, which gives us the entire province finally, and we really could have used that expansion as planning before upgrading Ekrond, but what can you do? Let's also immediately upgrade Dragonhorn Mines, get that growth up and running, and we can now delete you, unless there's another ruin here. Which there is not. Looks like we got a nice border going with Clan Moors. You also don't need anything like glittering scales, so you're out. Nice, 26k per turn. We also still have Glondaug, which I'm not entirely sure what to do with now. We could send him as a scout down here, but he'll just suffer attrition and die. Not that we care about him. Who are you fighting? I was about to think, who could we sacrifice this little army to? We could try to send him up to Dromar. I don't know if he can reach there in time, but he could give it a try. We could also steal his potion of strength if we wanted to. You know what? Try to head up to Dromar. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he might just be able to reach it. Which, great, because we're going to take all of these territories anyway. And it's actually probably a good thing that the Disciples of the Maw are not fighting Vlad right now. Alrighty, well, I believe that's all that we can do this episode. I mean, there's a lot of admin to do, and buildings to build, diplomacy, etc, 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 but we'll save the Vlad fight for next episode. So, we'll begin the episode with that, or possibly with Ikit attacking something else. You can reach Waldenhof from here. Oh, wait, before I forget, these are really critical. You need to upgrade this. 4k. Yeah. I want to sack Castle Drakenhof and Schwarzhofen for just massive amounts of cash. Hopefully nobody takes them while we're working on it. And I hope that Castle Drakenhof manages to reach tier 5 by the time we're there as well. It's a 200% increase, right? This building? Yeah, 200% increase from sacking settlements, and it's already worth 15k, which is decent, huh? I thought it was worth more before. But wait, it's just 15k for now, and at 200% it'll still be massive. I'm sure by the time we get down there, we'll be really happy with the result. Anyway, as I said, calling it here. Next time, Vlad will be fought. Ikit will fight somebody, most likely. We will also continue moving down south and trying to destroy the Cult of Sigmar. Since we're also at war with Talakwa, we may just move down to take their stuff at the same time as well. It looks like they've taken everything down here, so we're not threatened by Big Bird unless he's confederated down south with these guys. Though it may actually be a good reason to actually just ally with him if he's alive. He'll probably like us for having killed Talakwa. Anyway, those guys will keep dealing with their stuff. We will find out whether Oixa will die, but by the looks of them being surrounded by enemies, they probably will, so we will probably be getting the Recruit Defeated Legendary Lords mod. And then lastly, and most importantly, at the start of next episode, I think we'll do this battle first. Serena Katrin is defending Fort Stroghoff, and Throt, while not maxed out in terms of his army, is certainly ready to fight. So stay tuned for his debut. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.